Hello, Internet. It's that time again. It's time to read the Bible. All right, it's January 18th. We'll, of course, begin with Genesis. We're not out of the book yet. It's chapter 37, verse 1 to chapter 38, verse 30. I'm kind of tired, so we'll just start with my normal voice. So Jacob settled again in the land of Canaan, where his father had lived. Jacob's son, Joseph, was now 17 years old. His job, along with his half-brothers, the sons of his father's wives, Bilhah and Zilph, was to shepherd his father's flocks. But Joseph reported to his father some of the bad things they were doing. Now, as it happened, Israel loved Joseph more than any of his other children, because Joseph was born to him in his old age. So, one day, Jacob gave him a special gift, a brightly colored coat. His brothers, of course, noticed their father's partiality and, consequently, hated Joseph. They couldn't say a kind word to him. One night, Joseph had a dream and promptly reported the details to his brothers, causing even deeper hatred. "Listen to this," he proudly announced. "We're out in the field binding sheaves, and my sheaf stood up, and your sheaves all gathered around it and bowed low before it. So you want to be our king, do you?" his brothers derided, and they hated him both for the dream and his cocky attitude. Then he had another dream and told it to his brothers. "Listen to my latest dream," he boasted. "The sun, moon, and 11 stars bowed low before me." This time he told his father as well as his brothers, and his father rebuked him. "What is this? Shall I indeed and your mother and brothers come and bow before you?" His brothers were fit to be tied concerning his affair, but his father gave it quite a bit of thought and wondered what it all meant. I thought that was a Southern expression, fit to be tied. I'm kind of surprised it was in here. Anyway, one day Joseph's brothers took their father's flocks to Shechem to graze them there. A few days later, Israel called for Joseph and told him, "Your brothers are over in Shechem grazing the flocks. Go and see how they are getting along, and how it is with the flocks, and bring me word." "Very good," Joseph replied. So he traveled to Shechem. From his home at Hebron Valley, a man noticed him wandering in the fields. "Who are you looking for?" he asked. "For my brothers and their flocks," Joseph replied. "Have you seen them?" "Yes," the man told him. "They are no longer here. I heard your brothers say they were going to Dothan." So Joseph followed them to Dothan and found them there. But when they saw him coming, recognizing him in the distance, they decided to kill him. "Here comes the master dreamer," they exclaimed. "Come on, let's kill him and toss him into a well, and tell father that the wild animals he has eaten him. Then we'll see what will become of all his dreams." But Reuben hoped to spare Joseph's life. "Let's not kill him. We'll shed no blood. Let's throw him in alive into this well here. That way he'll die without our touching him." Reuben was planning to get him out later and return him to his father. So when Joseph got there, they pulled off his brightly colored robe and threw him into an empty well. There was no water in it. Then they sat down for supper. Suddenly they noticed a string of camels coming towards them in the distance, probably Ishmaelite traders who were taking gum, spices, and herbs from Gilead to Egypt. "Look there," Judah said to the others. "Here come some Ishmaelites. Let's sell Joseph to them. Why kill him and have a guilty conscience? Let's not be responsible for his death, for after all, he is our brother." And his brothers agreed. So when the traders came by, his brothers pulled Joseph out of the well and sold him for 20 pieces of silver. That feels familiar. That's 10 less than Judas got, if I remember right. I think it was 30 pieces of silver for Christ, 20 pieces for Joseph. Hmm. I'll have to remember that number when I read it again. Just kind of sparked in my brain as I was reading. Some time later, Reuben, who was away with the traders, came by, returned to get Joseph out of the well. When Joseph wasn't there, he ripped at his clothes in anguish and frustration. "The child is gone, and where shall I go now?" he wept to his brothers. Then the brothers killed a goat and spattered its blood on Joseph's coat, and took the coat to their father, and asked him to identify it. "We found this in the field," they told him. "It is Joseph's coat, or not?" "Is it, Joseph?" Their father recognized it once. "Yes," he said, "it is my son's coat. A wild animal has eaten him. Joseph, without a doubt, torn to pieces." Then Israel tore his garments, and put on a sackcloth, and mourned for his son in the deepest mourning for many weeks. His family all tried to comfort him, but it was no use. "I will die in mourning for my son," he would say, and then break down and cry. Meanwhile, in Egypt, the traders sold Joseph to Potiphar, an officer of the Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. Potiphar was a captain in the palace guard, the chief executioner. About this time, Judah left home and moved to Adullam, and lived there with a man named Hira. There he met and married a Canaanite girl, the daughter of Shua. They lived in Chezib and had 3 sons, Er, Onan, Shelah. These names were given to them by their mother, except for who was named by his father. When the oldest son, grew up, Judah arranged for him to marry a girl named Tamar, but was a wicked man, and so the Lord killed him. I'm sorry, that was just more abrupt than I expected. I'm used to these genealogies being kind of dull, but that just... So the Lord killed him. I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh to the Lord smiting someone. I'm sure it was very harrowing for all involved. But yeah. I don't weep over the wicked being punished, and apparently he was wicked, so yay. Then Judah said to Er's brother Onan, "You must marry Tamar, as our law requires of a dead man's brother, so that her sons from you will be your brother's heirs." But Onan was not willing to have a child who would not be counted as his own, and so, although he married her, whenever he went to sleep with her, he spilled the sperm on the bed to prevent her from having a baby, which would be his brother's. He's good at this pull-out game, I guess. So far as the Lord was concerned, it was very wrong of him to deny a child to his deceased brother. So he killed him too. uh, yeah, so that was weird. So, then Judah told Tamar, his daughter-in-law, not to marry again at that time, but return to her childhood home and to her parents, and to remain a widow there until his youngest son, Shelah, was old enough to marry her. But he didn't really intend for Shelah to do this, for fear God would kill him too. She got the divine. Never mind, I won't finish that thought. But you know where I was going with it. uh, uh, we'll kill him too, just as he had his 2 brothers. So Tamar went home to her parents. In the process of time, Judah's wife died. After the time of mourning was over, Judah and his friend Hira, the Adullamite, went to Timnah to supervise the shearing of his sheep. When someone told Tamar that her father-in-law had left the sheep shearing at Timnah, and realizing by now that she was not going to be permitted to marry Shelah, though he was fully grown, she laid aside her widow's clothing and covered herself with a veil to disguise herself, and sat beside the road at the entrance to the village of Enaim, which is on the way to Timnah. Judah noticed her as he went by and thought she was a prostitute, since her face was veiled. So he stopped and propositioned her to sleep with him, not realizing, of course, that she was his own daughter-in-law. These people. "How much will you pay me?" she asked. "I'll send you a young goat from my flock," he promised. "What pledge will you give me so that I can be sure you will send it?" she asked. "Well, what do you want?" he inquired. "Your identification seal and your walking stick," she replied. So he gave them to her, and she let him come and sleep with her, and she became pregnant as a result. Afterwards, she resumed wearing her widow's clothing as usual. Judah asked his friends Hira the Adullamite to take the young goat back to her, and picked up the pledges he had given her. But Hira couldn't find her, so she asked around the men of the city, "Where does the prostitute live who was soliciting outside the road at the entrance of the village?" "But we've never had a public prostitute here," they replied. So he returned to Judah and told him he couldn't find her anywhere, and what the men of the place had told him. "Then let her keep them," Judah exclaimed. "We tried our best. We'd be laughingstock to the town to go back again." About 3 months later, word reached Judah that Tamar, his daughter-in-law, was pregnant, obviously as a result of prostitution. "Bring her out and burn her," Judah shouted. But as they were taking her out to kill her, sent this message to her father-in-law: "The man who owns this identification seal and walking stick is the father of my child. Do you recognize them?" Judah admitted that they were his and said, "She is more in the right than I am, because I refused to keep my promise to her to give her to my son Shelah. But he did not marry her." Because relationship stuff is complicated back then. My Lord, it's nasty. It's nasty. All of it. In due season, the time of her delivery arrived, and she had twin sons. As they were being born, the midwife tied a scarlet thread around the wrist of the child who appeared first, but he drew back his hand, and the other baby was actually first to be born. "Where did you come from?" she explained. And after that, he was called Perez, meaning bursting out. Then, soon afterwards, the baby with the scarlet thread on his wrist was born, and he was named Zerah. All right. Well, that was disgusting, but it's how it happened. I wouldn't mind a few more, but Lord is a bit more forgiving of the main line than everybody else. Sometimes I feel like, gotta let the. To be fair, if he everybody who was doing horrible things, we would be running out of people again. Like it'd be Noah all over again. So, he decides who to and who not to. So we read on. But now it's time for the New Testament. Matthew chapter 12, verse 22 to 45. Oh, we did Goofy last time. Let's see if I can do Mickey. This voice might hurt. We'll try. "Then a demon-possessed man, he was both blind and unable to talk, was brought to Jesus, and Jesus healed him so that they could both speak and see. The crowd was amazed. 'Maybe Jesus is the Messiah,' they exclaimed. When the Pharisees heard about the miracle, they said, 'He can cast out demons because he is Satan, king of devils.' Ha ha! Jesus knew their thoughts and replied, 'A divided kingdom ends in ruin. A city or home divided against itself cannot stand.' You thought it was Abraham Lincoln who said that, didn't you? Well, he did, but he copied this from here. And if Satan is casting out Satan, he is fighting himself and destroying his own kingdom. And if, as you claim, I am casting out demons by invoking powers of Satan, then what power do your own people use when they cast them out? Let them answer your accusation. But if I am casting out demons by the Spirit of God, then the kingdom of God has arrived among you. One cannot rob Satan's kingdom without first binding Satan. Only then can his demons be cast out. Anyone who isn't helping me is harming me. Even blasphemy against me or any other sin can be forgiven, all except one. Speaking against the Holy Spirit shall never be forgiven. Either is this the word or in the word to come. Either in this world or in the world to come. I couldn't read that for some reason. A tree is identified by its fruit. A tree from the select variety produces good fruit. Poor varieties don't. You're a brood of snakes. How could evil men like you speak for what is good and right? For a man's heart determines his speech. A good man's speech reveals the rich treasures within him. An evil-hearted man is filled with venom, and his speech reveals it. If I tell you this, that you must give an account on Judgment Day for every idle word you speak, your words now reflect your fate. Either you will be justified by them, or you will be condemned. One day, some Jewish leaders, including some Pharisees, came to Jesus, asking him to show them a miracle. But Jesus replied, "Only an evil, faithless nation would ask for further proof, and none will be given except what has happened to Jonah the prophet. For as Jonah was in the great fish for 3 days and 3 nights, so I, the Messiah, shall be in the heart of the earth for 3 days and 3 nights. The men of Nineveh shall rise against this nation at the judgment and condemn you. For when Jonah preached to them, they repented and turned to God from all their evil ways. And now a greater than Jonah is here, and you refuse to believe him. This queen of Sheba shall rise against this nation. The queen of Sheba shall rise against this nation in the judgment and condemn it. For she came from a distant land to hear the wisdom of Solomon. And now a greater than Solomon is here, and you refuse to believe him. This nation is like a man possessed by a demon. For if the demon leaves, it goes into the deserts for a while, seeking rest but finding none. Then it says, I will return to the man I came from. So it returns and finds the man's heart clean but empty. Then the demon finds 7 other spirits more evil than itself, and all enter the man and live in him. And so he's worse off than before. Condemnation Mickey is fun, Mickey. Let's see. Any other fun voices I feel like doing at the moment? Save me, O God, because I have come. No, that's just normal voice. We'll just do normal. Save me, O God, because I have come to you for refuge. I said to him, You are my Lord. I have no other help but yours. I want the company of godly men and women in the land. They are the true nobility. Those choosing other gods shall all be filled with sorrow. I will not offer the sacrifices they do, or even speak the names of their gods. The Lord himself is my inheritance, my prize. He is my food and drink, my highest joy. He guards all that is mine. He sees that I am given pleasant brooks and meadows as my share. What a wonderful inheritance! I will bless the Lord who counsels me. He gives me wisdom in the night. He tells me what to do. I am always thinking of the Lord, and because he is so near, I never need to stumble or fall. Heart, body, and soul are filled with joy, for you will not leave me among the dead. You will not allow your beloved one to rot in the grave. You have let me experience the joys of life and the exquisite pleasures of your own eternal presence. All right, that was Psalm chapter 16, verses 1 through 11. And finally, we will do Proverbs for today is chapter 3, verse 27 through 32. Don't withhold your payment of your debts. Don't say some other time if you can pay now. Don't plot against your neighbor. He is trusting you. Don't get into needless fights. Don't envy violent men. Don't copy their ways, for such men are an abomination to the Lord, but he gives his friendship to the godly. All right. Well, that was our reading for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and above all, goodbye and God bless.